back again to my channel. So today we will be talking about the quadratic formula. This formula is extremely essential as it can solve all the roots of any quadratic equation. So if you want to learn more about this formula, then stay with me all throughout my video and do not forget to subscribe. Alright, so solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. So this is very important again. So we need to know the quadratic formula because again, it can solve any quadratic equation. Because there are really certain equations that cannot be solved by using extracting the square root, factoring, and completing the square. So if so, you have to resort to the quadratic formula. And this formula comes in the form x equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, wherein the value of your a should not be equal to 0. If so, it becomes undefined. Now, another good thing about this is that there are just few steps to remember in solving equations using the quadratic formula. So let's have the steps first. So step number 1, you need to arrange your quadratic equation into its standard form. So that's step number 1. And to recall, the standard form of our quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So very simple. Step number 2, we just find the values of a, b, and c. And step number 3, just substitute the values to the formula. And lastly, the very important step is to check your answer. Always check your answer. Okay. Alright, so let's have this as an example. We are given 2x squared plus 3x equals 27. So step number 1, I arrange the equation to its standard form. Now, is this in the standard form? No. Why? Because our constant is on the right. Standard form should be equal to 0. So we need to transform this. So the equation now will become 2x squared plus 3x, 27 to the left, positive 27 to the left will become negative 27 equal to 0. So our equation now is in the standard form. Now step number 2, we need to find a, b, and c. So what is the value of our a? So a is 2, b is equal to positive 3, and c is equal to negative 27. Now number 3, you substitute the values to the formula. So we rewrite our quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So substitute. The value of our b is positive 3. So negative 3 plus minus the square root of our b again is still 3 squared minus copy 4. The value of our a is 2. And the value of our c is negative 27 divided by 2. And the value of a is 2. So we solve. Negative times positive 3, that's negative 3. Plus minus the square root of, for a while. So 3 squared, that is 9. And then you have negative times positive, that's negative. Negative times negative, you will have positive. I repeat, negative 4 times positive 2, that becomes negative. And the answer negative times another negative, that will become positive. So instead of minus, we will have plus here. Now let's try to multiply the numbers. 4 times 2, that is 8. And 8 times 27, you will get 216. So 4 times 2, that's 8. 8 times 27, that's 216. All over, the value of our A is 2. So 2 times 2, you will get 4. So it's not 2 here. So you will get 4. Now we solve. So negative 3 plus minus the square root of 9 plus 216, you will get 225 all over 4. Okay, so let's try to extract the square root. Negative 3 plus minus the square root of our 225 is 15 all over 4. So this time, we split our equation. So we will now have x equals negative 3. We take the positive 15 all over 4. The other one, we will have x equals negative 3. Since we already took the positive 15, so we will have negative 15 all over 4. So you have negative 3 and 15, that is positive 12 over 4. And 12 over 4 is equal to 3. So the value of our x is equal to 3. That's the first solution. Here, negative 3 and negative 15, that is equal to negative 18. 18 over 4. So we can reduce. So negative 18 and 4, you will have negative. So we divide this by 2 over 2. So 18 divided by 2, that is 9. And 4 divided by 2, that is 2. So our second solution is x equals, oh, my x is not good. X equals negative 9 over 2. Okay, so I will erase this part. So we now have our two solutions, x equals 3 and x equals negative 9 over 2. So we're going to our step number 4, which is to check. So again, when we check, we need to go back to the original equation. So let's test first x equals 3. So let's test first x equals 3, and our original equation is 2x squared plus 3x equals 27. So 2x squared plus 3x equals 27. So we substitute 2 times x is equal to 3 squared plus 3 times 3 equals 27. So it's a question mark. Okay, so 3 squared is 9, so you will have 2 times 9 plus 3 times 3, that is 9 equals 27. Still, it's a question mark. So 2 times 9, that is 18. Plus 9 equals 27, we don't know. So 18 plus 9, that is 27, equals 27. So they are equal. Indeed, x equals 3 is the correct solution. I need space. Okay, so let's have x equals negative 9 over 2. So we solve. We substitute this to the original equation. 2x squared plus 3x equals 27. So just substitute the value of your x, which is negative 9 over 2 squared plus 3 times negative 9 over 2 equals 27. So we square our negative 9 over 2. We will have square of negative 9 is 81 over 4 because the square of 2 is 4. And then you have 3 times negative 9, you will have negative 27 over 2 equals 27. So here we can just cancel. So what is left now is 81 over 2 minus 27 over 2 equals 27. So as you can see, they are similar fractions because they have the same denominator. So we can just copy the denominator and then rewrite the numerator. So we will have 81 minus 27 equals 27. Okay, so I will just transfer it here. So you have again 81 minus 27 over 2 equals 27. So 81 minus 27, that is equal to 54. It's not clear. It is equal to 54 over 2 equals 27. By the way, since we are checking, it's a question mark. So we don't know if it's really equal to 27. Question mark. Now 54 divided by 2, that is equal to 27. Which is equal to 27. Therefore, the solution x equals
negative 9 over 2
is correct. So again, the solution of the quadratic equation 2x squared plus 3x equals 27 is equal to x equals 3 and x equals negative 9 over 2. Okay, so I hope it's clear. Do not be afraid if the solution is very long. Just remember the formula and the steps and then you're done. Okay, so let's try to have another example. I will erase. This example, I have already explained this in my other video on completing the square. So you have 2x squared plus 8x minus 10. So we have already got the answer to this equal to 0. So the answers are x equals 1 and x equals negative 5. Okay, so what we are going to do is that we are going to get these answers using the quadratic formula. Okay, so as you can see, the equation is already in its standard form. So 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 equals 0. So skip number 1. We now proceed to step number 2, wherein we need to find the values of a, b, and c. So the value of our a is positive 2. The value of our b is positive 8. And the value of our c is negative 10. So substitute the values to the formula, step number 3. So rewrite the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So substitute negative, the b is 8. So plus minus the square root of b again is 8. So 8 squared minus 4. The value of our a is 2. And the value of c is negative 10. All over 2. And the value of a is 2. So just solve. Negative times positive 8. So we have negative 8. Plus minus the square root of 8 squared is 64. Now you have negative times positive, that's negative. And negative times negative, that is positive. I repeat, negative times positive, that's negative. And then the answer negative times another negative, that becomes positive. Okay, so let's multiply the numbers. 4 times 2, that is 8. 8 times 10, that is 80. All over 2 times 2, that is 4, of course. So negative 8, we just copy, plus minus the square root of 64 and 80, that is 144. All over 4. So this time, we extract the square root, negative 8 plus minus the square root of 144 is positive 12. All over 4. So this time, it's time to split our equation. So the first one, we have x equals negative 8. We take the positive 12 over 4. The other one, x equals negative 8. We take the negative 12 all over 4. Then just solve for x. So x equals negative 8 and 12. That is positive 4. So 4 over 4, which is equal to 1. So x equals 1. We got it. The other one, negative 8 and negative 12, that is equal to negative 20 over 4. And negative 20 over 4 is equal to negative 5. See? So we solve this using completing the square, and we got the answers x equals 1 and x equals negative 5. This time we solved it using the quadratic formula, and still we got the same answer. Okay, so let's check still, even if we know that it's correct. So let's check. Okay, so again, when checking, substitute the equation, the solutions to the original equation. So we start with x equals 1. So 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 equals 0. So just substitute the value of x, which is 1 squared plus 8 times 1 minus 10 equals 0. So 1 squared is 1, 1 times 2 is 2, plus 8 times 1, that's 8, minus 10 equals 0. So 2 and 8, that's 10. So 10 minus 10 equals 0. And 10 minus 10 is 0, of course. So it's a question mark since we are checking, and we prove that it's correct. So x equals 1 is the correct solution. Next, we check x equals negative 5. So, original equation 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 equals 0. So, substitute the value of x is negative 5 squared plus 8 times 5 minus 10 equals 0. So, negative 5 squared is 25, copy 2. 8 times 5, that's 40, minus 10 equals 0. 2 times 5, that's 50, plus 40 minus 10 equals 0. Oh, sorry. It should be negative 5, sorry. So, this one is negative 40. This one is negative 40. Okay? So, you have 50 here, positive 50 and negative 40 and negative 10. That makes negative 50 equals 0. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. 50 minus 50 is 0. So, 0 is indeed equal to 0. So, again, x equals 1 and x equals negative 5 are the correct roots of our quadratic equation 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 equals 0. So, I hope it's clear to you, and I hope you begin to love the power of quadratic formula. So, again, the quadratic formula comes in the form x equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, where your a should not be equal to 0. So I hope you find this tutorial useful, and if you do, I'd appreciate if you share it to your friends. And also, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and to hit the notification bell so that you get posted whenever I upload new videos like this. So thank you for watching, and see you again next time.